Welcome, welcome everybody. StarLadder I-League Invitational Season 5. China Qualifier. This is our second best of 3 for the day. And this is LGD Gaming versus EHOME. And as we load in, we're going to see LGD at a 1-0 lead. For those of you who may have walked away after it looked like LGD were pretty far behind in that previous game, we were heading towards a 10k net worth lead for EHOME. Everything seemed to be going fine and dandy, and then everybody got picked off. They lost the lane of racks, they lost both of their tier 4s, and they lost the game. So things do happen pretty fast sometimes, and LGD gonna open this draft with a Crystal Maiden. Okay, so I mean, historically, pretty good hero to have against the Chen. I think that's most of what we're looking at here. I can't really think of any other redeeming qualities for poor old Crystal Maiden right now. I'm a little bit surprised that LGD don't just pick something like the Witch Doctor instead, but I think they are really just aiming for... They don't want to just stun the creeps. They want that Frostbite to kill the creeps, and I think that's their plan, to shut down the Chen this game. EHOME, I don't know how you come back from a loss like that. I do have to criticize CTY again just a little bit. You know, your team is ahead. You've got 5k gold sitting in your coffers, and you don't spend any of it. And then your team is choosing to take fights under those circumstances. I think that was very, very questionable. So we'll see how things go in this game. Lifestealer certainly a good hero to have against the Gyrocopter, but they have picked it quite early, so plenty of opportunities for LGD to pick up some heroes that are going to make life a little bit more miserable for the Lifestealer. Could maybe see that Viper coming out again, something like that. There's still tons of options for that LGD side. Could also grab the Naga again, potentially. I think decent against the Lifestealer. Lots of options. Or heck, they could even pick TB. Put the Gyrocopter on mid, have the Terrorblade safe lane. Ame had a very convincing performance last game, so no real reason why not. So for EHOME, they really need to make lanes where the Chen is able to play. I think the Lifestealer is a good start. Open Wounds is at least a decent setup to find kills on the offlaner with your Chen, but they need to make sure that the other lanes can kind of do the same thing. Going to be especially important for the mid lane. So we'll see what their mid lane hero ends up being in this situation. That Naga is going to get banned. LGD... Chalice doesn't feel like playing the Batrider 2 games in a row, so he is just going to ban it out. It is, of course, quite a good Lifestealer vehicle. And I guess one of the big questions lingering for the EHOME lineup is, what exactly is that Lifestealer vehicle going to end up being? I would say that the most, of the heroes that are common as Lifestealer vehicles, the most popular hero at the moment does seem to be Puck, or the most meta viable hero does seem to be the Puck. There's still a Sand King in the pool. I wouldn't mind seeing that for either team. And I'm also interested to see just how LGD kind of exploit some of the other aspects of the Crystal Maiden this game, how they're going to make the Arcane Aura work for them. You know, whether that ends up being a really spammy mid hero or something along those lines. Crystal Maiden has in a lot of ways being replaced by Clarity Potions, it feels like, but there are still some heroes that can use that little bit of extra mana to really push their farm the extra mile and accelerate that a little bit more quickly. Something like a Storm or a Lesh or even a Lina kind of comes to mind. It lets you change your itemization in certain ways that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. Like a hero that might consider rushing a Bloodstone first is all of a sudden like, oh wait, I can just get a Yules or some more survivability items and I've still got more than enough mana to do my thing. But alright, Tide Band, LGD... I don't really know what they're going to go for here, to be perfectly honest. Maybe just pick their position for an instant disable against the Lifestealer would be great. So an Earth Spirit or a Sand King or something like that could definitely be an option. Tusk, also not too bad. You know, Blink Punch. Snowball's a really good save if Lifestealer is focusing on somebody. Oh, the Tusk's already been banned. Never mind. I was like, oh, yeah. I'm mentioning Tusk as if they have the chance to pick him here, but that hero is much too popular at the moment. So, no. Tusk is already banned. And LGD still... Oh, they're dipping pretty deep into their reserve time here to make a decision.
Dire team pick.
Making sure nobody's disconnected. No, alright, there's Sand King. A little bit of a deny pick. Also nice. But yeah, having that instant disable against the lifestealer is always really, really handy. He's pretty good against lifestealer in general. Fairly mobile. Likes to buy 4-staff early on.
5 seconds
definitely
remaining.
Good stuff there. And yeah, the Rubic band kind of tips it off a little bit. But now for EHOME, what are they gonna do? What's the backup plan in terms of this support? Could be a Lion, could be a Witch Doctor. Bane also not terrible, but also doesn't feel that great here. Just because then you would be relying pretty much solely on the Bane for your hard lockdown, and that can be a little bit tough, especially when LGD already have a couple of different ways to cancel that Fiend script. So, and I think they need solid lockdown, because otherwise you could see LGD just pick something like a Queen of Pain, and the Queen of Pain is super resilient against the Chen, pretty resilient against the Chen ganks, decent against the Lifestealer, and then at that point they just wouldn't really have the lockdown. So I worry about picking something like Bane or Witch Doctor. I feel like they kind of have to pick something like Lion here. Disruptor also works. Same kind of idea. Solid, like very solid lockdown against these more annoying mobile heroes, but with a little bit more of a, I guess, a team fight twist compared to the Lion. The other reason I like the Lion is that I think it's quite good with the... Well, it's good against the Gyrocopter. That hero is relatively weak to burst.
5 seconds remaining.
An important part of playing Lifestealer is, well, depending on your build, being able to pop out and just instantly annihilate one hero. And the Finger of Death can really help out with that. A little bit of extra damage on top. But LGD, I think they see a relatively contestable safe lane here, perhaps. They're going to pick up the Doom. Not clear just yet who's going to be the pause 4 / pause 3 on the LGD side between the Sand King and the Doom. They can very well do either, really. And for EHOME, okay, pretty traditional answer against the Doom. I think also decent against the Gyrocopter. See the call down coming in, or you see somebody get doomed, you can just press your R button and run away. Though somewhat slow to come online in the laning stage.
10 seconds remaining.
And I do think LGD have enough damage to be able to kill him off in the off lane.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it is a somewhat traditional answer to your Doom. Doom is just such a long cooldown. If you have the opportunity to back away and reset after it's used, it can make life nice and easy. Chen is in for a miserable time this game. There are two different things that... There are 2 heroes that can specifically destroy his creeps with the Doom and the Crystal Maiden, and then there's 2 heroes with really nice AoE that are going to incidentally destroy his creeps. So, yeah, Chen not in for a very fun time, but that's what's going to happen when you first pick the Chen. And at least they're going to have the Chen sending back creeps to be able to help out the Centaur initially in the off lane. So that's at least good news. OD going to be the ban. Guess they just don't want too much setup on that mid lane. And does suggest that they're going to be looking at something like maybe one of your squishier int mids, though the Disruptor and the Centaur Warrunner probably deter against that a little bit. I think that's enough lockdown.
LGD's turn to pick.
TA, sensible ban, and EHOME with the Invoker pick. Alright. Interesting. So Centaur Invoker used to be very popular. Centaur is pretty reasonable Sunstrike setup, but again, another fairly slow hero. I think LGD have enough like up-in-your-face heroes that the Invoker is going to struggle to play a little bit. The Sand King and the Doom can quite easily just run at the Invoker, and that's another up-in-your-face hero that LGD have now grabbed. Also pretty good against the Lifestealer, nice high armor, got the evasion, pretty difficult for the Lifestealer to get into a MKB too early on. And... looks like it is going to be the Gyrocopter heading mid. I would expect probably non-stop homing missile spam, especially being fueled up a little bit more by that Arcane Aura. And I would also probably anticipate a couple of FY rotations over towards that lane. So CTY is going to have to be careful on this Invoker. And it is going to be CTY playing the Invoker And they're going to have Ying, I think it was, playing the Lifestealer this game. But the Centaur Blink is going to be all important. I think Chen has to just try and make sure that they get that get that Centaur a good start. Because the other thing about Centaur is you're not really like Batrider or anything, or some of these other offlaners, or like Brewmaster, where you want to buy Blink first. A lot of the time as Centaur, you want to get your Hood first, farm the jungle a whole bunch, and then get your Blink, so your overall Blink timing is significantly slower than some of those other heroes. And it is going to be an offlane Sand King this game for LGD. Chalice taking up the mantle. But yeah, we don't see Crystal Maiden all that often. I really think this hero is total garbage at the moment compared to a lot of other supports, but we'll see if that ends up being the case this game. I think, again, they've mostly just picked it to try and shut the Chen out, so we'll see what Innocence is going to be able to get done. And a little Sunstrike scouting going on around the place. Where was that, in fact? What are you up to, C2I? Trying to get some intel. They are... Oh, they swapped it again, actually. So they're going to be putting the Gyrocopter on Ame, and they are going to be sending the PA against the Invoker mid. This matchup used to be, I would say, completely unplayable for Invoker previously. CTY trying to Sunstrike maybe right before the creep spawn. He's sitting off to the side a little bit. But yeah, this matchup used to be really difficult, but with the new tower position, there isn't quite as much room for the PA to chase down the Invoker, so I think that's going to help a little bit. Also, of course, Poor Man's Shield doesn't exist anymore, so maybe Invoker can lay down a little bit more harassment. And Quas did, I mean, this is still a little while ago in terms of recent Dota patches, but Quas did get buffed up a little bit. Would maybe actually able to drag this creep wave into a great position. CTY not really blocking at all. I think he was hoping to jam it up underneath the tower and then have it bounce back, but maybe not blocking as hard this time around. So it'll be interesting to see how this mid matchup goes. Down bottom, they are just going to give the Sand King a 1v1 with a 2v1 against the Centaur and the Chen, which is pretty nice for the Centaur. I think he's going to get better farm against this setup than he would have against the LGD tri-lane, though. They are going to bring the Chen up to top now. Frostbite on the Lifestealer, forcing out this level 1 Rage. Definitely not a great start for him. And LGD already setting up. They got the Bassi on the Gyrocopter. Looks like they're going to be keeping this tri-lane together. And maybe already starting to go in with the harassment. 8 CS so far. Not letting CTY get really anything going. Oh my god, FY's already underneath the tower throwing out Infernal Blades. They just can't do anything. He knows that the Lifestealer has Rage level 1. So there's really nothing threatening him. He's seen all of the level 1 abilities. There's no catch at all. And even though the Centaur, I think, is going to do decently in this lane, it's still a melee hero versus a Sand King. So Caustic always going to be super annoying, and LGD kind of on track to win all 3 lanes right now, with very little response potential from EHOME. Invoker is not going to rotate and set up kills. Like I was saying, Faith Beyond needs to farm up an entire Blink Dagger before he can really do anything. And their safe lane is just getting pinned down, while Chen has a very difficult game against the Doom and the Crystal Maiden. So
Haste.
maybe the Chen can gank mid. You look at the way that maybe's playing, he's up underneath the tower right now. And he doesn't know where Chen necessarily is either. So he is going to have to be careful of, in this kind of situation. You know, maybe you get cold snapped under the tower. The Chen's made the big sneaky wraparound. He's got a couple of nice creeps. Cold snap into a Sunstrike or a Meteor could definitely find a kill, but I think this is perhaps a little bit too early here for Innocence. We'll see. Maybe he is a little bit low, half HP pretty much, but he's well underneath this tower at this point. And I think they're about to realize something suspicious is maybe happening. They see some random skeletons at mid, and maybe has to have at least a couple of questions about what's going on there. It might have actually given some of the intention away. And Xnova and FY, do they have a smoke or anything between them? Nope, just trying to stack up some camps. Keep on farming a little bit. Incense with a very deep ward planted. see any of these rotations coming over to backstab him as he's still looking for this kill, but PA just backing up. Maybe going to try and block the wave to keep it close on his side. And now feels just confident enough to retreat, well, to head down into the river. They're going on the Lifestealer up top. He's popping some rocket barrage damage. He's already used the rage. He's actually in big trouble. Lifestealer dropping low. Can he juke his way out of this? Nope, just turns around, and that will be your first blood drawn by FY. They go for the kill at mid. PA does end up tanking the Sunstrike. Not enough misses, however, and X-Nova not very effective on the turnaround there with the Crystal Maiden TP, so nicely done by EHOME. I think if PA had salved all the way back up to full, probably would have been fine, but meanwhile down bottom, Sand actually getting driven away from this lane. Faith Beyond forces him all the way out and now gets a very nice opportunity to start grabbing some farm. I don't know if he just brought more regen to the lane than the Sand King or what the situation was. Ooh, Innocence was hoping to spot Chalice down here as he made his way back, but he's just... I think he just passed by in the fog. So couldn't get him. FY and X-Nova. Chilling around mid, but I believe they have been scouted out.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
By this dire obs. So should be not too much trouble here. FY's actually made the loop all the way around. C2I in trouble on the other side. They've also got the jump in from maybe. X-Nova going to try and close the gap for the Frostbite. Can he get it? The kinetic field now coming up. X-Nova's tanking the tower, and the Chen also looking for the wraparound. X-Nova the first to fall. FY and maybe still quite tanky, but they've got all of these shard golems. Maybe still tanking it up though. Turns back around. They will get the kill on HYM, but it looks like C2I should be able to claim this Phantom Assassin kill. And he will. Now the Cold Snap going out. They've got a couple more shards and the Centaur coming over. FY just dead. And an extremely ill-fated dive on mid ends up being a 3-for-1 trade. EHOME fighting back even in the face of these not so ideal lanes. And now the Gyrocopter's in trouble. Might not be okay here. He still has some magic stick charges, turning around a little bit. Pops the stick charges at the last moment, but still the glimpse back is there. Nice use of the homing missile. FY also getting involved, but Lifestealer doesn't care one whit about this as Sand King actually dies bottom. Innocence moving around with these mud golems, making stuff happen. And now the Centaur going to be sent back. Maybe that's how... wait, I don't think he got sent back earlier when he sent the Sand King all the way back to the well. But maybe. Pretty nice for the Centaur to be able to just spam some double edges, drop low, and then actually get sent back. Maybe he'll be able to avoid buying the hood this game. It'd definitely be nice. More harassment on the Lifestealer. Mid lane CS still definitely favoring the PA. Going to be picking up some phase boots before too long. Now has the coup de grace as well. FY in the trees. They are going to be forced to use the Stampede, but X-Nova is there with the Frostbite. Lifestealer also in some trouble, but I don't even know if they were using that defensively. They chased down the Sand King, and that's going to be yet another kill for Faith Beyond. Deciding that his early game is going well enough that he will just grab himself a Vanguard. Crimson Guard and Pipe both definitely very nice items this game, but I think the Crimson Guard maybe just a little bit better overall against LGD's kind of lineup, so not too opposed to this choice. And Innocence still finding a lot of levels and finding a lot of impact on this Chen, despite what I was talking about early on. They have lost this tier 1 tower up top, and they are completely sacking their Lifestealer. But they should be able to catch him back up, so long as the Centaur has his blink. Like, just get some infest ganks going. Radiant Scan is going to reveal the Chen backstab, and PA not willing to go back to the lane unless FY is there to hold his hand, or at least provide him with a blink strike target. Maybe putting on some pressure. There is a DD waiting down bot, but Word Spirit actually putting on decent damage, and if C2I can land this Sunstrike, it should be a kill. Oh, just barely the dodge on maybe. He also dodges the last 2 auto attacks from both the Forge Spirit and the Invoker, so a little bit lucky on his part. And now it's actually a commitment from the PA, but Invoker not taking that much damage. He's got 3 points up in the Quas, rotation through from the Gyrocopter, but he does get glimpsed back. Nicely done by HYM. And FY also dropping over in the Radiant jungle.
Dire's middle tower
Ame's still going in for the pincer backstab. Gonna drop in the call down. He's also got the rocket barrage. Did they just forget that he was there? Nope, they've actually got the Stampede. And that will disengage. Oop. It's actually X-Nova who's in trouble. Innocent's able to stampede in his creeps. Looks like he will end up losing them here, but I think his own life is going to be fine. FY trying to chase him down.
Middle tower is under attack.
Chalice kills off Faith Beyond down bottom. A little bit of revenge. There's so much stuff happening everywhere. Oh my god. 13 kills in 8 minutes. I thought that the EHOME lineup was going to be a little bit slow, but combination of the Centaur and the Chen has done a lot of work. Innocent's even feeling pretty good about his spot in this game right now. He's more farmed than his lifestealer, and he's thinking about Midas. While LGD have their sights set on this mid-tier 1 tower. Get the glimpse back onto Ame, but he's fine. Doesn't even get caught inside the kinetic field. FY with the wrap around. They get the long-range dagger onto the Invoker. He's taking big damage. He gets the ice wall down, but it doesn't really do anything. The cooldown's also there. They don't even need it to get that kill. Now the Invoker is being pressured. And still, we wait for the Centaur. This is the thing about Centaur. You almost always get another item before your blink, and so we've only got really 240 gold worth of blink progress. Meanwhile, Chalice, he's got treads, and he's 1800 gold towards his blink. Tanking actually a little bit ahead of the Centaur at this point in terms of the net worth. And LGD seemingly not done. Just going to keep on rotating around. They're going to top off their SK. He is actually going to rotate over to the top side of the map, where they are looking for this lifestealer. He does have 17 wand charges, a Fairy Fire, and a Rage. So I don't see him going down here, but they are at the very least going to put some hurt on him. X-Nova has to be careful though. Oh, actually, now the jump in as well from the Phantom Assassin. He's going to try for the TP out, but the Rage is not going to be long enough. Oh no. He was just thinking to himself, oh, there's no way that I die here. I can always just Rage TP, but waits a little bit too long to go for the TP scroll. X-Nova must have been sitting there hovering the Frostbite the entire time, just spam clicking, and the Lifestealer continues to have a terrible game. They get the call down coming in. Sunstrike's going to be split multiple ways, and FY will not be brought down. Nice map awareness, nice game awareness by LGD as they now slice through Faith Beyond the Vanguard. Not enough to protect him. And LGD now evening up the kill score, holding on to a 3k net worth lead. Chalice is just going to be shoving this top lane non-stop, and CTY, all that he can provide is really just a Sunstrike at this point in the game. Invoker still needs a ton of time, needs to finish his Midas, needs to get 2 or 3 more items after that. And finally then will he be able to start potentially taking over this game, though. I don't know, 2 Midases is really greedy. I guess there isn't really anything that much better for Innocence to get. A Force Staff would be good, but fast Midas does potentially mean fast Aghanim Scepter, which could be nice this game for the push / split push, I suppose. And Somnus actually, this is not a completely unusual build on the PA, but is going to be going for an SNY, just tanking up a little bit more. Normally on PA you're kind of playing for that one big damage item and then a BKB, and this time around he's actually just buying the Sange and now queuing up the Desolator. So is it Sange, then Deso, then back for the Yasha? It's a little bit weird.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I guess feeling like the Sange is enough survivability to not get bursted. Do have a Doom ready to go for FY. Looks like he just picked up the Tome not too long ago. X-Nova level 5, 3 points in the Arcane Aura. A little bit surprising, but it is accelerating Chalice's farm quite a bit, and now a 4-man smoke. I think they would love to get the Invoker, but plenty of other targets also available. Their vision situation is not great, so this is also probably a ward planting mission. Get 1 obs over on the Dire side of the map, probably gonna pop down another up here. Yeah, this is definitely prime Invoker farming territory at the moment, though. CTY is actually just over at the Tri-Camp for the time being. But yeah, they want this Invoker dead. I think they would settle for the Lifestealer, but yeah, for now, X-Nova just going to be the one farming it up. Faith Beyond threatening this bottom tower somewhat, but only 1 point in the return so far, so nothing too crazy. 1400 gold. The instant that he gets that blink, it's going to be very important pickup. Chalice also opting for a Vanguard this game. Also grabbing the 200 HP talent, going to be very difficult to bring down. And alright, finally the Midas is up for CTY. Doesn't lose too much efficiency there. Had it delivered a couple of seconds ago. EHOME, until they get that blink, they are completely unwilling to fight. They're just finding whatever farm they can on the map. Net worth isn't advancing too much in LGD's favor. We do have Ame opting
Radiant's
for
bottom tower is under
the
attack.
Aghanim Scepter build up on his gyrocopter, so a slightly greedier build,
Dire's
but
top tower is
I
under
think that
attack.
goes along alright with the way that the Phantom Assassin is building. He's also able to spam the Rocket Barrage quite a bit this game with the Arcane Aura to speed up his farm just that little bit more, not to be underestimated.
Radiant's
Chalice
bottom
thinking
tower
about
is
making a
under
go
attack.
here.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Is the Burrow Strike stun long enough for Doom to get in there and lift his arms? Do they even want to bother dooming the Lifestealer? I guess that's the other
Dire's
question.
top tower is under attack.
HYM in position, ready for a glimpse if LGD do try and defend this bottom tier 1 tower, but I don't think they have any such plan. They're just content to trade it away for this top tier 2.
Radiant's
more farm on
bottom
the PA.
tower is under attack.
Regeneration.
I guess Chalice also trying to ascertain whether or not mid is the bait or bottom is the bait. Like, are they smoked behind the Lifestealer or are they smoked behind the
Dire's
Invoker?
top tower is under attack.
Won't quite figure it out. X-Nova, probably a ward
Dire's
from the
top
low
tower
ground. Yeah,
has
nicely
fallen.
done. Sees the Lifestealer farming. CTY does get the last hit on that bottom tier 1 tower, so he can buy his point booster now if he so desires. And Chalice, as he changes his mind on the Vanguard, looks like a 4-staff gonna be queued up instead. And finally the blink for Faith Beyond on this Centaur. Alright. This is where things start to get a lot better for EHOME. They can find Sunstrike pickoffs, they can do some Infest ganks, they have more setup for the Disruptor combo. Their lineup really comes online in a big way at this point, and they are going to go for an immediate smoke. They do have a dire Observer ward just over here. They've seen some of the LGD heroes moving around in the neighborhood, and they're potentially about to see the Crystal Maiden poke her head out of the trees down at bottom. So they know, at the very least, LGD aren't all together. But LGD still seemingly very content to take over this dire jungle and keep on farming up there. 600 gold to go for the Desolator. That, along with the level 15 talent, going to be a pretty big power spike for maybe, and they'll probably be looking to exploit that as much as they can. Haven't really used this Sand King Blink Dagger very much just yet, and Doom has just been sitting here for FY for like the last 4 minutes, but they're being somewhat cautious. We do have an Armlet now up on the Lifestealer, and EHOME now finally coming over into the LGD vision, but they get the immediate Sunstrike onto FY. He's going to be brought down. Also some trouble for Chalice as he gets glimpsed back into the very angry EHOME side. Do they even have any detection here? Looks like they don't yet. He's able to Burrow Strike his way down onto the low ground. The Thunderstrike still canceling his Blink Dagger, and Faith Beyond finds the follow-up Hoof Stomp. Looks they should be able to get this kill. A couple more auto attacks will do it. And that is a mega kill streak for Innocence. LGD, I guess maybe not realizing that the Centaur had his blink up just yet. They have great vision all around here, but that smoke from bottom finds EHOME 2 nice picks, and LGD is still just kind of farming. Things on the Roshan. Sunstrike going to be helping that one out a little bit. I think EHOME should be able to contest this. They're going to smoke up. Centaur's coming over. They don't have the Disruptor Static Storm for 40 seconds. They do have the Desolator now up on the PA. This is dropping pretty quickly. They need to get over here now. Faith Beyond jumps in. He gets a stomp over onto one. The Doom comes in, but it's a little bit too late. Phantom Assassin is quite low. Ame running into the front lines. The Meatball flies through, but Chalice straight through the back lines with the Epicenter. Burrow Strike onto a couple. Ame's still a little bit too tanky, but he will be brought down by the Lifestealer, unable to get the Armlet toggle off. And in the end, EHOME will end up losing 3. Faith Beyond looks like he was successfully sent back home, so it did not end up going down, but LGD win the fight. Sand King also looking for HYM. X-Nova trying to close the gap, gets the Crystal Nova off. He's also got the Frostbite, the Static Storm being committed, but I don't think this is going to end up finding them a kill. Faith Beyond throws out one last double edge. Also now forced to use the Stampede to try and escape. I don't even think he was forced to, but it felt like he had to.
Structures are fortified.
Oh man.
Dire's middle tower
Well,
is under
very nice
attack.
call from LGD, knowing that the Static Storm is a huge part of EHOME's team fight. And just going straight in and claiming the Roshan. Age is still intact. Maybe going to have his SNY relatively soon. That Sanj HP definitely helping him out in that situation. He got stomped double-edged and still survived on like 130 HP. That's a nice Sunstrike, but Faith Beyond looks like he's going to pay for that one with his life. Who gets killed off? They get the burst strike onto the lifestealer. Chalice needs to be careful about the glimpse. He does get the force staff off. Glimpse is actually going across onto the Phantom Assassin. As now HYM is also dead, and maybe he's just going crazy on the other side of this fight. CTY able to bring down FY and then gets TP'd out. Lifestealer, one more crit's gonna do it, and maybe he has that one in reserve. Triple kill for him. Chen trying to juke as best he can, but he does not have a TP. And X-Nova is just gonna find him. Oh, actually, can they get this Sunstrike kill? X-Nova brought down! Innocent, still in the trees. One more burst strike's gonna do it, but killing spree for CTY. Does have some BOTs. 2k gold towards his Aghanim Scepter, so at least getting up there a little bit on the net worth. But so they also killed Gyro down here. Yeah, so FY and Ame both going down over on the bottom side. Doom's going to be back up in 10 seconds time. FY's doing a tornado dance. But this PA is already getting very big, very scary. Satanic actually going to be the next item selection for maybe. I'm a little bit surprised to see him kind of shy away from like a BKB, say. Or I think even a Basher I would like a little bit more than the Satanic. I can see the thinking, right? You're like, oh, I have an Aegis, so I don't really want to buy BKB right now. I'd much rather just kind of think about my next item and maybe go for that now, and then I can go back for the BKB later when the Invoker is scarier, because you want to have that really long duration BKB later on. Oh, they get the Burst Strike onto Invoker. Can he get anything off? Static Storm kind of counter-initiates, but the PA is really tanky, and CTY is already dead. He does have a buyback, but no chance that he wants to use that here. And Chalice chases up onto the high ground. The crit dagger brings down HYM. Faith Beyond, he's got a Vanguard, but it's nothing in the face of this maybe Phantom Assassin. There's the double kill, and he is straight up onto the high ground. Lifestealer, feeling like he just has no place in this game, is just going to go farm up some creeps down at bottom. Looks like they are going to accept their fate of losing this mid lane of Rax. They do have a glyph.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, seemingly very unlikely to do anything here.
Dire's middle barracks
Lifestealer, some damage onto Gyro. Rage TPs his way back.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Melee barracks already gone. Chalice here to help out if the need arises. Disruptor has respawn. Could potentially try for a glimpse play, though. EHOME not looking very hungry for anything. Just kind of milling around inside of their base. P2I goes TPing out. Ooh, they spot the Ghost Walk. Do they have any detection in the area? You don't want to run over towards X-Nova because he's got a sentry. Straight into the Burst Strike. Straight into yet another kill on this CTY Invoker. He just gets knocked further and further down the rungs of that net worth ladder as they are going to try and stampede their way in onto this Doom. FY dropping everything that he can before he goes down. Lifestealer doomed up, will be sent straight back to the fountain, but looks like Faith Beyond might not be quite so lucky. Can they bring him down easily? Innocence, can he retreat into the base? I somehow doubt it. They're going to glimpse back the PA. Looks like Chalice will be left to finish off this kill. He's got a Burst Strike. Static Storm counter initiation. No buyback available for CTY. There is one for Faith Beyond. They're locking down the Phantom Assassin, but I still don't think they can really do that much about maybe. He just doesn't have his gyrocopter here. Ama's actually just taking the bottom two in the meantime. Not interested in the struggles of the rest of his team. They're chasing out. Do they have a ward? Can they get a good glimpse? They want X-Nova. They'd like the PA a little bit more, but the PA still has that Aegis. And now the gyrocopter is almost here. At least the Invoker has also respawned. Does he have BOTs off cooldown? He does. They get the slowdown. He jumps in. He pops the Disruptor in one shot. Innocence might be next. Can we get another crit? Not right away. Does get sunned up. There's going to be a Sunstrike finishing off the Aegis, but now the gyrocopter arrives. X-Nova valiantly channeling that ultimate. Actually able to kite the Lifestealer around a little bit. Now the PA's back to the fight. FY also with the Troll Trap. The Beyond Godlike streak continues. And LGD march their way up inside of the base. CTY, can he do anything here? He's got the Tornado ready. Needs to drop a big combo, but cannot afford to get touched by a single stun. And they're going to smoke up. CTY with the combo spells invoked. Faith Beyond going to be looking for the multi-man stun if they can get it. Phantom Assassin, does she get blown up? No, actually gets force-staffed away, it looks like. Surviving through everything, and GG gets called. Was it even a force-staff? Yeah, it was a force-staff from FY. Too good. Completely dodged the Invoker combo, and just like that, LGD going to end this game in 23 minutes. I don't even think did the gyrocopter even have to do anything this game. I feel like the one play that I saw Ame make was when he ran mid, ran at the invoker, didn't get him because he got glimpsed back, and then he was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna loop all the way back around and dive the tower again, and it worked out just fine. EHOME, I think the draft perhaps just a little bit too greedy. I really have to give Innocent some props for how he played on the Chen. He helped win that bottom lane. He got that kill on the PA at mid. I feel like he actually moved around really well on the Chen, but Centaur was a little bit slow. I think Invoker is just a hero that doesn't really have a place in the current meta, even for a player as talented as CTY is. So with that, LGD are going to eliminate EHOME from the runnings of the StarLadder I-League Invitational Season 5 China Qualifiers. They will move on to play against Rock, which should be... I don't know. Here's the thing. I thought that, LGD FY versus Rock Gaming was going to be pretty one-sided. Turned out not to be the case. I do think LGD are a slightly better team than LGD Forever Young are, so I'm expecting them to win that series, but I guess we'll have to wait until tomorrow to find the answers to that. But very nicely played by LGD. I mean, a bit of a different look as well. Picking Crystal Maiden, making it work. The position for Doom is not completely unorthodox, but don't always necessarily see it. There is more China Dota going on right now. I think if you guys want to go and tune in, yeah. So Rock are playing in DPL, Second League. There is... Well, there's technically some China Dota going on as well, as Dream League is kicking off, it looks like, newbie versus OG. So I think I'm going to go and watch that. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage today. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you for more StarLadder action tomorrow. The games haven't been scheduled just yet, but I would imagine that we'll have Keen Gaming versus IG and probably Rock versus LGD tomorrow. And then I would suppose that the grand finals will probably be on the Sunday, but hard to say exactly. There's tons of qualifiers for all of these teams going on at the moment, so the schedules do have to be a little bit flexible. As always, keep your eyes on the match ticker, keep your eyes on Twitter, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.